Mambo. Mama.
Tugi, huyo ni nani?
Hakuna.
Mambo. Mama yuko?
Tugi, huyo ni nani?
Mtoto amekuja.
Kwa vyakula vyenye ladha tamu, tumia unga halisi wa 210.
So, nitakuona tena lini? I mean, nitaleta 210 zingine lini?
Anytime. Yes. Yes.
210 tamu.
Local news should live to your expectations. It should be reliable and most definitely accurate, keeping it local and giving you the facts, especially the breaking. That's why at Maisha Television Kenya, we value, we inform you, educate you and advocate for your views. Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information. That's why there is nothing more important to us than getting it right. Maisha Television News, we are here for you. Local news should live to your expectations. It should be reliable and most definitely accurate, keeping it local and giving you the facts, especially the breaking. That's why at Maisha Television Kenya, we value, we inform you, educate you and advocate for your views. Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information. That's why there is nothing more important to us than getting it right. Maisha Television News, we are here for you.
Dad, mbona hii ladha yogurt inakaa tofauti? Dad, mbona hii ladha yogurt inakaa tofauti? Dad, naweza pata msista mdogo?
Sweetie, hii ladha yogurt iko tofauti kwa sababu ni creamy zaidi, tasty zaidi na haina preservatives. Ebu jaribu.
Naipenda.
Ilara yogurt, now more creamy and more tasty. Now available in new plain and mango flavor.
We're right on time for Maisha Prime News. My name is Rida Chebet Kerim. Welcome. Politics took center stage at the burial service of Mzee Richard Gakuchia, father to Nyeri County Speaker John Gakuchia in Nyeri County. The Deputy President William Ruto, accompanied by his allies from Mount Kenya region, attacked their opponents, at the same time selling their agendas ahead of the 2022 polls. Bushebi Jr. brings us that report.
Deputy President William Ruto, accompanied by a brigade of his allies, on Wednesday attended the funeral service of Mzee Richard Kaguchia Gichohi, father to Nyeri Speaker John Kaguchia, at Kiu Mukurweini in Nyeri County. As usual, Deputy President and his political footmen couldn't resist to delve into politics, sending salvos at their prime opponent Raila Odinga and the ODM party for what has been seen as his latest moves to gain ground politically in Mount Kenya region.
Mtu wa kawaida ambaye ni mtu hapa Central Kenya. Your Excellency, another point which sisi watu wa Central tunaangazia. Sisi watu ya Central tunataka yule mtu atatufanyia mambo tatu. La kwanza ni mambo ya healthcare. Hivi sasa vast majority ya watu wa Central tunakuwa wagonjwa, tunapata shida, hakuna mtu ya kusaidia. We believe your government will put healthcare as one of the priority areas. Yule mtu ambaye can't afford NHIF utamsaidia. By the way, baba venye alishikana na Uhuru ametusaidia sana. Tumejua what kind of a leader anaweza kuwa angechaguliwa. La kwanza ni kiongozi wa kufanya watu wa Mount Kenya wapate shida viongozi. Gachagua ameshikwa wakati ya handshake. Kama ni mbeleni hangeshikwa. Huyu Modongo alikuwa kiongozi senator, akafukuzwa wakati ya handshake. Kama ni mbeleni hangefukuzwa na ni Mkikuyu wetu. Huyu Dede alishikwa akawekwa ndani, nikaenda kumtetea. Kama ingekuwa handshake haingekuweko, hangekuwa na hizo shida. Hivi karibuni Wanga akafanywa chairman ama chairlady wa finance committee. Bei ya essential commodities kama petrol ikashoot juu. Bereni hakukuwa na hiyo shida. Basi nyinyi wananchi wa Central, kama Raila anatufanyia hii mashida akiwa tu ameingiza mguu tu moja ndani ya serikali na kikaria yote, tutaona shida ipi? Imagine kama saa hii tunaona hizo shida zote, viongozi kuona shida, wananchi bei yao kwenda juu, na ameingiza mguu moja nusu tu na akiingiza yote, sisi tunaisha. Miaka 5 uliongoza mkiwa na Uhuru, hatukuwa na hizi shida. Mimi sikuona mahali.
Sasa mimi nauliza nyinyi watu wa Nyeri, si tulikuwa na rais wa 3 anaita Mwai Kibaki? Si yeye ndiye alitusaidia tukapata katiba hii ya 2010? Sasa zile powers Kibaki alisema hana haja nayo ya kucontrol bunge na kucontrol judiciary. Hawa watu wa rege wakakuja kutuambia hapana, turudishe hizo powers. Zile Kibaki alikataa. Tukawaambia hapana. We don't want a president who is a god. We want a president who works for people and a servant of the people. We do not want a king. We want a president who works for the people of Kenya. And therefore there is absolutely no reason why anybody anataka kutusukumia ati turudi rais ule wa zamani alikuwa anaabudiwa. Hapana, tunaabudu Mungu peke yake. Binadamu hawa wengine watufanyie kazi.
Sisi hatuwezi kutafutiwa bibi na yeyote yule, kwa sababu tutachagua huyu muungwana ametutongoza vya kutosha, tumemkubali. Doa iko, anayekuja sasa ni wakudandia na hatutaki wakudandia. Ama namna gani? Sisi tumeshafanya uamuzi na uamuzi wetu ndio huo. Kuna mmoja amesema kwamba kama kuna anayetaka tubadilike atufanyie operation atutoe hiyo wheelbarrow kutoka kwa roho zetu, lakini hiyo haitawezekana kwa sababu hatutakubali tushapiga uamuzi na njia ndiyo hiyo.
Wakati ulikuwa waziri wa agriculture, na hii maneno umeizoea ya hawa watu jameni, ukashungushwa kidogo na mtu sitaki kutanja na wakakufuta kazi. Ukiwa waziri ukafutwa kazi. And I was following you keenly. When you came to talk, you said, now I have time to re-engineer the game. Wakati uko nje, you re-engineered the game. And when you visited us in Kirinyaga, I reminded you that the game you re-engineered has made you the deputy president of the great republic of this nation.
Na mimi nimejipanga, hata ingawaje mnaona wanaume wanajaribu kunipangia, lakini mimi nimejipanga mbaya sana. Takutana na hao watu kwa kiwanja.
Questions. Mimi nikiwa mmoja wa manaibu, kuna maswali mingi sana. Na nikiangalia pia pande yako, kuna maswali mingi sana. I think it is time hiyo kiti ya naibu ukiwa rais wakati ule, uangalie naibu wako awe na ofisi mzuri, awe anapewa heshima, awe anatanjwa kila pahali, asifungiwe tu na kupewa jina na kazi hakuna.
Deputy President William Ruto even explained that Kenyans seek him for help because he understands hustlers' problems, unlike ODM leader Raila Odinga.
Na Mungu alitusaidia. Nyinyi mnajua hata ingawaje wanalalamika, mwenye kusimamisha BBI si ni kotini. Ni Mungu tu alitumia hiyo kotini. Kwa sababu hao watu wangetuangaisha. Lakini kuna Mungu mbinguni. So mambo imeenda mzuri. Ndio mnaona hata sasa ile project tungeanza ya Big Four, saa hii ndio tunajaribu kufufua. Leo kwa bunge ya Kenya inaendelea bill ya NHIF amendment. Ili tuanzishe ile universal health coverage ilikuwa kwa Big Four. Saa hizi ndio inafanyika bunge. Kazi ambayo ingefanyika 4 years ago, 2018, ndio tunafanya saa hii. Kwa sababu hapa katikati tulikuwa busy na rege na hii ingine hii ambayo imetusumbua. Lakini mwisho sasa imeishia mahali inaitwa null and void. Na miaka 4 imeisha. Unaona ile hasara tumepata? Hawa watu ya kitendawili wametuletea hasara mingi sana. Lakini sawa tu.
The late, identified as Richard Kaguchia Gichohi, had been ailing for a year and died on 20th September 2021 at Outspan Hospital. The Speaker of Nyeri County, John Kaguchia, described his father as a jovial, humble, diligent and hard-working man. He had a good vision of his future and raised them even though he had nothing until they achieved their dreams. Reporting for Maisha TV, I'm Bushabi Jr.
And following the historic hike in fuel prices, President Uhuru Kenyatta has made changes in the Ministry of Energy, this coming barely a day after legislators taken in the blame over the hike in the fuel prices, with the regulator EPRA on the other end distancing itself from the blame game. EPRA now says the members of Parliament, the National Treasury and the Kenya Revenue Authority KRA have failed Kenyans. Antonio Sundua with the full report on this.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has made changes in the troubled Ministry of Energy on Wednesday 29th. The ministry has been under fire recently following the hike of fuel prices.
Mimi mafuta nilikuwa natumianga mafuta ya 300 mpaka jioni. Sasa natumia mafuta ya 400 na bado nikiangalia kwa mfuko sioni pesa. Hata siwezi nikikupata kwa barabara siwezi kupea lift kwa sababu tu sasa niendenge nikiangalia tu kwa barabara nione kama nitapata mtu, nitakupeaje lift na mafuta imepanda. Mafuta inaniumiza mbaya sana.
The ongoing debate of high fuel prices has now seen EPRA, known for regulating the fuel and gas prices, distancing itself from the heated debate of who is to blame.
You can see there has been a steady increase and a steady growth.
Appearing before the Departmental and Finance Committee of the National Assembly, the regulating body was having a hard time to meet the legislature's expectation to explain just why the price of fuel has become unpayable.
So is EPRA necessary? The 25 cents we are paying every liter of fuel we buy to take to EPRA, is it necessary?
Our taxes and levies are 58. leaving only 2 shillings out, you would say that's 50-50. The landing cost is almost the same as the taxation. I think you will agree with us that we cannot continue that way. We have to do some reduction.
It is a sitting that saw members of parliament once again admitting that they are to blame for the increasing prices that is now projected to increase the already unpaid cost of living.
I just want to highlight the regulator on a month-by-month basis publishes the maximum wholesale and retail prices. The regulator does not fix the prices but sets the cap. Then that means that the operators or the marketers have the flexibility within which then to compete.
Movita MP Abdul Samad Nasir laid his experience in absorbing part of the blame. According to EPRA, this state remains as the framework for the cost of formula used to determine the prices as guided by the summation of levies, taxes and the actual supply chain that was in the best position being big policy makers. The recent hiking for prices has seen Kenyans dig deep into their pockets as it now emerges the taxation of the product was paid on for the VAT percentage.
Mafuta unajua ndio backbone. Mafuta ikipanda hata unga hapo imekuwa taabu. Mafuta ikipanda gas pia nayo inakuwa shida, kupika ni ngori. Mafuta tu ikipanda watu wanatumia stovu balaa. Lakini kama wameshukisha yenyewe tunaona kweli gava inafanya job yake. Yenyewe imeanza kusikiza wananchi wa chini. Sisi watu ya chini tumeanza kufurahi kama wanaweza tusikie tunaumia. Na tunaomba kwa hiyo 33% hiyo warudisha hata ifika hata ile kawaida vile ilikuanga hata 90, ifika hata 90.
Nafurahi venye serikali imeweza kutushukishia mafuta. Tunaomba hata gasi ishuke na mambo itakuwa vizuri.
Rais anatangaza mafuta imeshuka lakini huku chini mafuta huwa haishuki. Kama angetengeneza chomba angekuwa na chopa ya kutembea wakiangalia kwamba mafuta imeshukishwa ingekuwa afadhali. Manake ukilalamika unaambiwa hii ni biashara ya mtu binafsi.
Reporting for Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television, I'm Anthony Osundwa.
And President Uhuru Kenyatta on Wednesday 29th made a reshuffle of his cabinet. In the changes announced by State House spokesperson Kanse Dena, CS Monica Juma has been moved from defense to energy, Charles Keter from energy to devolution, and Eugene Omalo from devolution to defense. 4 PSs have also been reassigned. Bushebi Jr. with a full report on this.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has reorganized the functioning of his cabinet following a mini reshuffle announced on Wednesday, September 29th. In a live address by State House spokesperson Kanse Dena, Eugene Wamalwa has been transferred to the Defense Ministry in a raft of changes affecting 3 cabinet secretaries effected by the President. In the other changes, Monica Juma has been moved to the Energy Ministry. Juma will replace Charles Keter, who's replaced Wamalwa at the devolution docket. Additionally, the State Department for Assaults has been transferred from the Devolution Ministry to the Ministry of Public Service and Gender, headed by Professor Margaret Kobia.
Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Dr. Monica Juma moves from the Ministry of Defense to the Ministry of Energy. Cabinet Secretary Honorable Charles Keter moves and becomes the Cabinet Secretary of the Ministry of Devolution. Cabinet Secretary Honorable Eugene Wamalwa now takes over the Ministry of Defense. Cabinet Secretary Margaret Kobia retains her portfolio, but as you saw earlier, it was her she got more duties, and with the new ministry, it will now be the Ministry of Public Service, Gender, Senior Citizens Affairs, and Special Programs. 3. The reassignment of principal secretaries. In accordance with Article 155, Section 4 of the Constitution, the following principal secretaries have been reassigned. Principal Secretary Major General Retired Gordon O. Kihalangwa now becomes the Principal Secretary in the State Department of Energy. Dr. Engineer Joseph K. Njoroge now becomes the Principal Secretary of the State Department for Transport. Mr. Solomon Kitungo now becomes the Principal Secretary of the State Department of Public Works. Mr. Nelson Marwa Sospita now becomes the Principal Secretary, State Department for Special Protection, Senior Citizens Affairs, and Special Programs. Ladies and gentlemen, those changes take effect immediately.
The State Department for Social Protection, Pensions and Senior Citizens has also been transferred from the Labour Ministry to the Ministry of Public Service and Gender. To this end, the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection has been reconstituted and renamed as the Ministry of Labour. After the changes in departments, Professor Kobia's ministry has been renamed as the Ministry of Public Service, Gender, Senior Citizens Affairs and Special Programs. President Kenyatta has also made changes by reassigning 3 principal secretaries and expanding the portfolio of 1. Major General retired Gordon Kihalangwa has been moved from the Ministry of Public Works to Energy, while Dr. Joseph Njoroge redeploys from Energy to Transport.
Transfer of functions and reconstitution of ministries. Pursuant to Article 132, Section 3B of the Constitution, the following reorganizations and transfers of functions are made. First department. The State Department for Arid and Semi-Arid Land has now been transferred to the Ministry of Public Service and Gender. 2. The State Department of Social Protection, Pensions and Senior Citizens has been transferred to the Ministry of Public Service and Gender. 3. The State Department of Special Programs is transferred to the State Department of Social Protection, Pensions and Senior Citizens Affairs, and the department will hereby be renamed as the State Department for Social Protection, Senior Citizens Affairs and Special Programs. The Ministry of Devolution and the ASOLs, that is the Arid and Semi-Arid Land, is hereby reconstituted and renamed as the Ministry of Devolution. The Ministry of Public Service and Gender is hereby reconstituted and renamed as the Ministry of Public Service, Gender, Senior Citizens Affairs, and Special Programs. And finally, the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection is hereby reconstituted and renamed as the Ministry of Labour.
President Kenyatta has also transferred Transport PS Solomon Kitungu to the Ministry of Public Works, while PS Nelson Marwa Sospita will now serve as the State Department for Social Protection, Senior Citizens Affairs and Special Programs. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Bushabi Jr.
Allies of the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka now say they will do what it takes to see the former vice president's name on the ballot in 2022. Mwingi North Member of Parliament Paul Nzengu dismissed any likelihood of Kalonzo deputizing ODM party leader Raila Odinga in the forthcoming elections, saying that it was now a payback time and Raila Odinga should now return the favor by supporting Kalonzo after what he did to him in 2013 and 2017. The sentiments come even as the One Kenya Alliance remain undecided over who will fly their flag in 2022.
But we are saying those who are pushing that we must back Raila, we are not. We have no problem with Raila, but we have backed Raila for 5 terms, consecutive terms, and we expect also a reciprocation from. We expect Raila to reciprocate by also supporting Kalonzo. If Raila wants to partner with us, then he should not come with the attitude that he shouldn't be the flag bearer. We have said it clearly that we expect that Kalonzo is now given support by Raila, Mudavadi, and other like-minded people. When we follow his record over time, we know that he has remained completely incorruptible. He had opportunity where he could have made a lot of money, and it's sad that Kenyans cherish people who still do corruption and earn a lot of money, and they celebrate them. It is really completely unacceptable that we cherish and applaud people that have stolen our own resources. And the reason why Kenya is now suffering and we have a lot of economic problem is because there's a lot of corruption. A small project that is supposed to cost 1 billion is exaggerated to 5 billion. So the 4 billion goes to the pockets of a few people. Yet the Kenyans will pay the price. So Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka has no record of having stolen anything. Even his political nemesis, when they tried to tag him as having been involved in the Yatta land issue, he was found not guilty, and the DCI has lifted the hook on him.
Chief Administrative Secretary for Public Service and Youth Affairs, Beatrice Elachi, has dismissed claims of illegally promoting public servants at the Nairobi County Assembly. In a media address on Wednesday, Elachi termed the remarks as political, being instigated by Majority Leader Abdi Guyo. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, is investigating allegations of abuse of office against Elachi while serving as a speaker. Elachi served as the second Speaker of the Assembly from September 2017 until her resignation on August 2020. In a letter to Assembly Clerk Ada Onyango, the EACC has asked for 27 documents to aid the investigation. The clerk is also to record a statement.
There are those who felt very disappointed. Because when you are doing promotions, you don't just promote. You have to go through a recruitment process internally, which we did. Now, one of the things that I learned a lot in Nairobi is that you can have a master's, but you don't have a degree. But you want to be in an office. You want to be our finance person, but you don't have even the degree. And this master's is of Esami. So I need Kenyans who have gone to school to tell me, how do you deal with such? When we have someone else who has gone to Nairobi University, has a degree in finance, and is doing his master's. Definitely that person will be the one who will be picked because you were employed together. Then I had another challenge in the HR. You have a person who has a PhD in HR, has worked with public service, is a civil servant. But his boss, I don't know what degree she has, but at the same time does not have experience in human resource. Definitely this guy with a PhD is coming to be your boss, because when you go for that interview, the first thing we look at is your papers. Now when I restructured that way in Nairobi, and you find most of them were lawyers. I have not employed lawyers in Nairobi County. I have not employed, by the way, when I was there. I made sure the staff that was there is the staff I worked with, because we also have a ceiling.
Kenya Union of Pharmaceuticals is calling on legislators to reject a bill set to be introduced in Parliament seeking to include pharmacists in the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union. Here is the full report.
We have written a letter, the Committee of Health Parliament has written a letter to the Registrar of Pharmacy Appraisal Board, wanting to transfer us to KMPDC interim as the bill is being assented, or as the bill is being passed in Parliament. And we want to say we have no intention to go to KMPDC whatsoever, and we will support the Pharmacy and Appraisal Board, the work they have been doing to regulate us. And in case we want to remove Pharmacy and Appraisal Board from there, then let's have our own Pharmacy Practice Council.
And in a race to boost its numbers ahead of 2022 polls, the ODM branch in Siaya now plans to give incentives to those who will register as voters during this registration period. The branch officials, however, expressed concern over the low numbers of registration kits allocated in each ward, which they say may hinder the success of the mass voter registration exercise slated to kick off on Monday next week.
As a constituency, we have a target of 23,805 in the upcoming registration exercise. As the patron, we leave no stone unturned, because we want to ensure that all the 23,000 potential voters are registered to increase our vote basket in readiness to take Raila Amolo Odinga to State House. And in doing so, we will reach out to all stakeholders, the churches, the political leadership, and everyone else The challenge we have as with the exercise, the number of kids allocated to each ward, because due to limitation of funds given to IBC, each ward will have 3 kids for the exercise. Again, I want to say that as the patron, in collaboration with the other stakeholders, we are making plans on facilitating additional kits to up our numbers. And in doing so, we'll go an extra mile of even providing incentives to those who turn up for the registration exercise.
It has been a while since we did registration. We have young people who have since become 18 and have IDs but no vote. We also want to ensure that we are prepared effectively so that there would be no challenges.
Igara ADC Vocational and College registered with the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority TVETA is a public training and vocational college located in Nambale Sub-County in Busia County, and it offers various diploma, craft, artisan and certificate courses. Let's have a look.
You have first of all to check the radiator, if the radiator is fully functioning and if the fan is also functioning.
Igara ADC Vocational College registered with the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority TVETA is a public training and vocational college located in Nambale Sub-County in Busia County, which offers various diploma, craft, artisan and certificate courses.
My name is Oriama Wandera Peter. I'm the principal Igara ADC Vocational Training Center. Igara ADC Vocational Training Center was started in the year 2017. This institution was put up by African Divine Church, who are our sponsors, before it was handed over to the county government of Busia in 2017.
As narrated by the fashion and design trainer, the institution has helped the community, specifically those who are facing challenges in the society, by training them with skills to better their lives.
Kwa sababu imefanya wengi wameajiriwa. Kizambo kuna wasichana walikuwa wanahangaika huko nje, wengine walikuwa wameoneka, ndoa ikaribika, wengine walidrop kwa shule kwa ajili ya changamoto mbalimbali. Watu wakati waliamua kuja kujiunga na hii course, wengi wao saizi maisha yao si mbaya, sababu kupitia kwa hiyo kushona wamefaulu kupata hata pesa, hata wengine sasa wanalipiwa ndugu zao na dada zao school fees. Na shida ni kwamba yenye napata kwa hii department, wavulana wafurahi hii course, na nilikuwa naomba ikiwezekana hata wao waingie kwa hii course, hiyo wataona manufaa. Kwa sababu inafikia wakati kuchukua mtoto msichana apime mwanaume anakuwa na hiyo hali ya uoga. So nilikuwa naona ikiwezekana hata wavulana pia wangejiunga ili wasichana wapate hiyo encouragement wakati wana take measurements.
Igara ADC Vocational College is in good condition and currently offers over 10 courses, with the main departments being fashion and design, beauty and engineering departments, among others.
So currently the institution is offering a variety of vocational courses. We have building technology, we have hairdressing and beauty therapy, we have fashion and design, we have carpentry and joinery, ICT, electrical installation, food processing, amongst others. So currently we have an enrollment of 204 trainees. Our second years are currently on attachment. Our courses take a maximum of 2 years. We offer artisan courses and grade tests, that is grade 3, grade 2 and grade 1, which are examined by NITA.
We got a chance to speak to some of the students from the different departments who expressed their satisfaction with the training offered at the institution.
I'm in hairdressing and beauty department. I chose this course so that my future life could have been better. I would have liked to be a hairdresser, professor in my future life.
The trainees acknowledge the TVC's training, saying it is better than the white-collar job education as they can create self-employment.
I would like to encourage my fellow other people to join this course because this course is good. You can't lack money. This course, you can just buy anything that you want. I'd like to encourage them to join this group. This school is better and this course can change anyone's life.
We encourage all genders to take this course, especially boys, because they are good in that skills.
One of the advantages enjoyed by the students is affordable fees. Fees for Igara ADC Vocational College varies according to courses and duration of the course taken.
To urge all members of the public from different parts of the country to bring their students to study for these vocational courses at Igara Vocational Training Center. So basically, the parent pays only lunch to be able to enable his son or daughter to pursue various courses here in this institution. So I would like to urge the community at large to continue bringing students here.
For Maisha Prime Maisha Television, I'm Rida Chebet Kering. And now let's get our special feature on the impact of COVID-19 to traders by Anthony Osundwa.
The eyes of small-scale traders in Kenya are now wide open, focusing on what the government should do to stabilize the economy, which was vigorously shaken by the restrictions given to curb the spread of COVID-19, as this sector has been largely affected by early curfews, lockdowns, and inter-county movement restrictions, which increased the rate of expenditure to get the raw materials meant for their items. Many people in Kenya have now been forced to try whatever they can do in order to earn a living, something that pushes the quote, usichague kazi, maana kazi ni kazi.
Mimi nahisi smart sana bana, unajua kuna mwanamke bomba kama mimi. Mimi najiamini. Na mwanamke ni kujiamini, si kuslay. Waka kuna maslay queen huko nje wanajiamini, wanaweza fanya hii kazi wakuje. Na kama unaweza slay waendelea kuslay tu.
On the streets of Bungoma town in Bungoma County, we met Evelyn Baraza, a lady who believes she has all that is needed to fight for a better tomorrow in this low economy.
Majina mnaitwa Evelyn Baraza, natoka Chwele, tunafanya kazi yangu Bungoma. Mimi kazi yangu ni kuunda majiko hapa na wenzangu. Masomo kweli nilisoma, lakini saa hii kweli hakuna kazi. Ingawaje saa hii kweli kazi hakuna. Mimi nilichagulia hii kazi ndio nikaona inaweza kuwa kazi ya manufaa kwangu, inaweza kuwa maana kwangu. Unaona? Juu najua nikiamka asubuhi nikikuja hapa kuna yenye natoka nayo hapa hivi. Lakini kazi za sasa hivi mostly unaweza andikwa, unangoja end month ikifika hakuna tunapewa. Unaelewa? Sasa unaona ni kwangu niko sawa. Mimi kwangu ni kuhimiza tu wasichana wenzangu na mama wenzangu nyako kwinyo wanateseka. Ili aje uzunguke kwa hii dunia. Kuja tafuta kazi fanya. As long as uko na experience ya kuifanya tu. Sia tulisomea iko kwa damu. Hii ni ya baba yani ya brother yangu, sio kwa damu, hiyo sijasomea. Na niliget experience for 1 week. Nilianza hii kazi tu na 1 week na nikajua kila kitu. Sasa hii nimekuwa tu kama uko hapo hivyo nje, kama unaweza jilete. Kuja hapo Bungoma side zambo, ukifika mosque hapo, ulizia tu demo anaitwa Eva, utaingia join na mimi nitakufunza kazi. As long as uko na experience na uko na roho, ukiwa na roho, mimi kupea kazi si issue ni wewe mwenyewe kuwa na roho.
Evelyn says, since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the business life rate has gone low, forcing them to go through many challenges to make it a single full day.
Hiyo kazi unajua wakati venye corona imekuwa, baada pesa hakuna. Unaweza pata customer anakuja, anaangalia, analia tu umpe kitu, but sasa ingawaje sasa ni wenyewe mmepandisha vitu. Serikali imetupandishia vitu nitakana itupunguzie. Ndio ikitupunguzia. Hadi wananchi pia sisi wenyewe tutawapunguzia. Lakini hakuna wenye serikali imepandisha. Alafu wananchi nao wategemea tuwapunguzie. Wataelewa tu hapo. Lakini corona kweli imetuleta. Mimi jatili biashara zangu juu mimi nafunga kazi saa 12 jatili hata kidogo. Hata studia kafi mimi kafi nanipata kwa nyumba. Sasa hata mimi naona business iko tu sawa. Lakini leo uchumi ya Kenya ndio imepanda sana.
She urges the county and national government to uplift some restrictions, check on the prices marked for the raw materials, and also reduce the rate of taxes which they pay for their businesses, as this will also make them lower the prices on commodities to give the normal Kenyan a humble time while buying them.
Venye president wetu anatupeleka venye istahili, umeelewa? Tena anatupeleka venye nitakana inchi ikuwe straight, lakini kaya anaipeleka composition mambo ya siasa, ndio nafanya uchumi unazoroteka kabisa urudi chini. Sasa watu tunataka tu watusaidie warudishe uchumi venye ilikuwa. Sasa wakirudisha uchumi venye ilikuwa, hata sisi pia nasi tutafurahia. Uchumi iko sawa. Uchumi iko inatupeleka mbali. Wanafunzi watoto wanatakana wasome, wanatakana wakule. Sasa sisi wakitupandishia vitu kila kitu imepanda juu, sisi tutafanya aje? Sisi tunaomba warudiane pamoja, waongee story ishe, wakuwe vizuri, turudi kama kawaida, uchumi rudi kawaida. Ndio mimi naomba tu. Juu sasa uchumi usirudi kawaida, sisi tutapata chakula, wanafunzi wenye tunasomesha watapata chakula. Nitakana utoka hapa na pesa, usipotoka hapa na pesa mtu atakula. Sasa tunaomba mrudishe uchumi kwa nomo, mrudi nomo, maisha ikuendelee mbele.
Evelyn urges her fellow traders to maintain the lane, always work hard to fulfill their plans.
Mimi ndio lost na una slay, waache kuslay. Wakuje tufanye kazi hapa tupige janta. Waache kungoja ya 10 na mbao huko nje.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television, I'm Anthony Osundwa.
Mwanamke bora, mwanamke mwenyewe.
Thank you, Anthony, for that report. And with that, we've come to the end of Maisha Prime News. My name is Rida Chebet Kelvin, and after this, I'll be coming on Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. We'll be having a very interesting topic, so make sure you don't miss out. Enjoy the rest of your video.
Local news should lead to your expectations. It should be reliable and most definitely accurate, keeping it local and giving you the facts, especially the breaking. That's why at Maisha Television Kenya, we value, we inform you, educate you, and advocate for your views. Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information. That's why there is nothing more important to us than getting it right. Maisha Television News, we are here for you. Nabongo Teachers Training College takes pride in being an academic giant in Western Kenya with some of the best infrastructure, imparting knowledge to the best brains in the country and the region.
Yeah, my name is Dorothy Saya, and I'm the director of Nabongo Teachers Training College and schools. We have the primary school, the secondary school, and this college.
Our members of faculty are keen to deliver market-driven academic programs in diploma, certificate and short courses. The college management is now inviting applications from interested and suitable students for diploma in primary teacher education, DPTE, for 3 years. Upgrade from P1 to diploma primary teacher education for 9 months. DTE, diploma teacher education secondary option. Similarly, we are now admitting secondary school students from Form 1 to Form 3 entries. Our secondary school boasts of an equipped science lab, elaborate computer lab, and transportation buses. Our fees is quite affordable. We admit all government and private sponsored students under Kenya universities and colleges placement service. Welcome to Nabongo Teachers Training College. Admissions are now going on. Nabongo Teachers Training College is situated in Bungoma County. For secondary school admission, call now 0704 366 140, 0704 366 140. For Nabongo Training Teachers College admission, call us now 0711 574 423, 0711 574 423. Nabongo Teachers Training College, Bungoma. Local news should live to your expectations. It should be reliable and most definitely accurate, keeping it local and giving you the facts, especially the breaking. That's why at Maisha Television Kenya, we value, we inform you, educate you and advocate for your views. Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information. That's why there is nothing more important to us than getting it right. Maisha Television News, we are here for you.
Hi guys, naitwa Stacy. Mapana eti mwili kujitutumusha nitakutawanya kabahari. Hii ni station imegrow very fast na naipenda sana. Mi watch mzuka East Africa. Vicky Bandes.
Karibu Kanairo, karibu Kenya. Kujani kushova koza wa Kenya. Tuna talanta ya kucheki weather. Iyo jua ni
from Monday to Friday 4 PM. Show kali sana.
Na kusima Stella, Stella Rubina no Stella. Na kusima Rubina yasima. Weni kama pete yangu, pete yangu, pete yangu, pete yangu. Weni kama pete yangu.
Glad you could join us. This is Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. I'm your host, Rida Chibet Kering, and I'm joined by Irene Mumbo Bushebi, who is a counselor and also a church leader, specifically in matters to do with women. She's also a Bible instructor. And in our previous shows, we've talked about a lot of things, including women in leadership, being an organized woman. Also, we've talked about the role of a woman as a mother, and also the role of a woman as a wife. And today we are going to narrow down to the family, and our general topic will be about the family. Karibu sana Irene.
Asante sana.
So I'll just start with a general question. What is a family?
Thank you so much for welcoming me. A family, I would say, is a unit that is consisting of a parent or parents together with their children, and those all that have put together are living together. That is, they are people who are living as one unit, so they live together. That is the parent or the parents, and then with their children. That's what a family is.
And there is a challenge that many families have been experiencing. You know, when you go home, you want to feel that love from the family, but some families, I can say most of the families don't have that love. How can we fill our family with love?
Yeah, that's very good, because we really need that love in our family. So how to bring love in our family, as I've mentioned several times, is that when we talk about love, We are talking about something that really needs a lot of sacrifice. So the only way to bring love in our families is to sacrifice for the families. That is to say that you can go beyond yourself to do what the family expects you to do. So that is how we are going to fill these families with love, because at the end of the day, we have several families, and as you're saying, so many families are suffering from not having love at home. This is because nobody or most of the people in a family are not ready to sacrifice for each other or to sacrifice for the family as a unit as it is. So that is why we are finding that there's not enough love in our families. But what I would say is that, as I've defined this, is that every other person who is a member of this family is supposed to sacrifice for every other member of the family to see to it that love is in the family. So this is a process that involves everyone in the family.
Yeah.
Bringing love in the family involves each and every one of us.
And who can you say is more responsible to bring that love in the family? Because in most cases, most people say that it's a woman who keeps the family together.
Yeah, she keeps the family together, but as we are told and as we know, the father or the husband is supposed to be the one who is the overseer of this family. So is the one charged with the greater responsibility. And so as the mother keeps the family together, yes, she will sacrifice to that level, but the father or the husband of this family is supposed to be the person who is suffering more to see that the family is together in terms of love. Yeah. So the
Can you say that maybe the introduction of this work thing, where you get that the mother is working, the father is working, so that the time that they come together as a family is maybe once or twice a week. You see that when they have meal, they're supposed to have a mother there, a father there, children. But now it's not the case. Can you say that this work thing is contributing to not having that love in the family?
Yeah, it is, because we've read these placards that every day tells us that the family that stays together or prays together stays together, you know. So this, in essence, they are saying that the family needs to stay together in terms of every other thing they are doing. So if you find that most of these, even meal times, you cannot find each and every person in this dining table, then know that there's somewhere that something is going to lack. Because when we are seated like this, it's like there's somebody who is part of us who does some other activities that when she or he is not there, then we'll feel the absence of this person. And that feeling of the absence already talks much more about the sacrifice that this person offers so that we are here as we are. So you'll see that when we are not as we are supposed to be, then ultimately we find ourselves not having what we really need to have in terms of love, that is. Yeah, so as you're putting it, that we are supposed to be sitting, the father, the mother, and the children. Then if the father is not there, or the mother is not there, or the children are also not there, because we find ourselves sometimes that all the children have gone to school and then we are just the two of us in the house. Sometimes it's very boring there. Yeah, I've seen this, and that's when you also realize that we need each and every person in our family. So when some of them are not here because of other obligations, then you find that there's something that is really lacking and we really need that thing. So yeah, that one would contribute to that.
Yeah, so if you talk about many parents don't have that enough time to spend with their families due to work or maybe due to some other activities. Where is the work-home life balance to be found?
It's supposed to be found in the sacrifice, as I was saying, because we know that in the time that we are living today, we really have this issue that the parents or the mother or the father or both of them have to be out working. And so when this is happening, then what will now take course in terms of our children and all this stuff? So that's why I'm saying the work-home life is going to be found in our sacrifices. So as a parent or as a mother or as a father who is working out there, you should sacrifice and see that if you get any amount of time that you can offer to your family, please offer it to them to the maximum. Because you know they really missed you, and maybe they might miss you physically, but know that even spiritually, when you're not connected to them, when you're far away, because we've had this, that distance always makes us to be far away from each other, that is in terms of even spirituality. So if you find this happening, then you'll find that when you're far away from your family, then there's something that is wrong. So whenever you get any amount of time, make sure that it's maximally used with your family when you're there with them.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah. And now, basically, everyone, I can say everyone, because even me, everyone wants to have a peaceful and a stable family. But in most cases, we see that there's differences in opinions and conflicts. what can you say that, how can this be overcome?
As I've said earlier, is that when we have to bring love in our family, then we have to sacrifice. And this sacrifice is what brings everything together. Because even the differences that we are having, there is no single place that will tell me you will go and miss to have the differences of opinions, suggestions, and all this stuff. And so the only thing we need to do is that whenever there is that difference in anything, that we are not reading from the same page, then what we need to do is, as I said, each and every member of the family needs to know that it's their responsibility to offer love in that family. So that sacrifice will really help us. And so if there is any difference in anything, then each one of us is charged with that responsibility of chipping in and saying that we need love in this family, however much we have our differences. And so that is what is going to contribute to us knowing that we need to even sacrifice much more than the other one, so that we can come to terms with everything that maybe we are having in terms of the differences. And so that is why I'm saying this is still the solution to the differences in the families, opinions, and anything that we can have. If we are going to know that I can sacrifice much more, so if there is anything that we are disagreeing about, then the only thing that we need to do, if from my side I know I need to sacrifice, the other person also needs to sacrifice. That's what they know. It's their obligation. Then what we will end up having is that each one of us will be wanting to sacrifice. And in doing so, we'll find that the differences are sorted even before we start saying their differences. You see that? So in a family, we need people who are going to understand that we will have these differences. People will come up with suggestions, opinions that the others might not like. But because we know that we have to sacrifice to each other so that we bring the love that you're talking about, that is a family that has love in it, then we are going to be charged with the responsibility, each one of us, and in so doing, we are going to sort out our problems. Yeah,
and many people who have not got into this marriage, especially the young people, they think that maybe marriage is a good thing. It's just as a mother, as a wife, what can you tell them?
I would tell them that anytime you see something good, as the Swahili people put it, ukiona vyaelea vimeundwa. So anytime you're looking at a family and then you're thinking this is a good thing, I want to get into that, think of what was used, the material that was used to come up with that marriage or whatever that you're looking into and seeing good. So I'm advising the young people there, or those people who would want to get into this marriage. It's not that we are threatening you that, you know what, don't go there. No, it's something that you have to give a taste of. Because anything good comes from some work. That is basically the principle of nature. So if you want to get something good, you'll have to really work hard for it. So if you want a good family, a good marriage that you would want to get into, then know how to start working it out. And to young people, especially to young ladies, I usually tell them that, you know what, you have to be hidden into Christ such that that person who is looking for you will have to find Christ first to find you. Yeah. Wow. So that basically tells you that, you know what, you're doing some work, because finding Christ or walking in the path of Christ means a lot of sacrifice. And the moment you're going to do that, I assure you, you will come back and ask me. I assure you, you are going to have that good family or that better family that you are talking about. I know when I'm saying this, somebody is saying, I've been there. Nilikuwa nafunga na kuomba hata 40 days. Sometimes, you know, we do these things because it's a religion. Every other person is doing this. Mtu anakuambia, because I wanted to get married, I went over to the mountains to pray for 40 days, I don't know, for 30 days. It's not just about that prayer. It's about what you want. What is it that you want? You know, you might go there and pray because people are praying, but you even don't know what you're praying for. Yeah, we are told in the book of Isaiah that sometimes we go fasting and praying, not knowing what we really want. You should really know what you want in your fasting and prayers. So what I'm saying in essence is this. You really need to do some good work whenever you want to get into that good thing that you are looking out and saying that, you know what, that person's marriage or family is good. There is something that when you go pole pole, you ask them, they'll tell you, this and this and this, we've done it, and it was not easy. So the word "it was not easy" means they toiled so much, they really worked so hard. There are times you even spend sleepless nights, you know, trying to figure out, what can I do that I've not been doing that will make this family be the family that any other person looking at it will say, this is a good family. Yeah. You know, so it really needs a lot of sacrifice, as I say, that is doing a lot of work to put together what you really want to be, or what you want to be the better thing that you're seeing out there. Yeah.
Yeah, now as a counselor, I'd like you just to highlight some of the secrets for a successful marriage, because a lot of people out there are really suffering, especially women. I'd like you just to highlight some of the things to do for a successful marriage for women.
Yeah, for women, I have one that carries all of them. The secret is Jesus Christ. That is number one. Number two, Jesus Christ. Number three, Jesus Christ. I will tell you this severally, because the reason why I'm saying this is I've been here and I've been in marriage and I've seen that I can give you all the tips. I can give you all the secrets. I can give you all that I've worked out to do. But if the basis of this thing is not upon the rock, that is Jesus Christ, my friend, you're not going to make it. So those tips that we see here, there, people giving us tips here and there, Jesus will give them to you freely. He'll give them to you in details. He'll give them to you in diagrams. What do you want? Then just go and look for Jesus Christ, and then you'll have the solution to this. I don't want to start giving you points so that you write them down, because you'll find that there are times when you try to apply these points, they're not working for you. So the only thing I'll tell you is that seek Jesus Christ. I know it's not, and as I'm saying this, I've talked about sacrifice. It's not easy also. Just making sure that you can walk the path of, following Jesus Christ totally, as the apostles did, as any other person who have really succeeded in their Christian walk have done. So it is also a sacrifice, because it's not a one-way thing. I usually tell people that, the way to the kingdom is not the same way that people have been going. It's like it changes depending on what God really wants you to do. Because God, you see, like the children of Israel, they were taken for so many years. A journey that they were supposed to only take 40 days, you see. They were taken for 40 years. So this is to say that you might be wanting to just go the other end, but going the other end will take you so many small steps until you reach there. And there's this other person that will just jump over, depending on how they've prepared themselves. So because maybe you are not prepared in other areas, God will be taking you a step and another as he prepares you, because that is exactly what God does. God doesn't just take you somewhere when he knows that you're not prepared enough. So he takes you step and another, preparing you. When you're through with this, he takes you to another class. We know it very well. Kama hujapita class 1 na uendangi grade 2, siku hizi zinaitwa grades. So before you are done with grade 1, you can't go to grade 2. So that is the same thing God does. The worldly things you see, they were copied from what God usually do. So before you are done with a certain trial or whatever test that God will give you, he's not going to carry you to another level. He will bring it in a different way until upite hiyo mtihani. Basi atakupeleka katika ile darasa lingine.
Well, thank you so much, Meskia. That the secret is Jesus, Jesus, and Jesus. And there's this phrase of a family that prays together, stays together. How important is prayer to family?
Prayer is very important. But I remember I've just said this, that, sometimes we pray not even knowing how to pray. Yeah, because even the Bible talks about it. Kwamba tunaomba na hata tujui jinsi ya kuomba, ndio kwa sababu tunakosa kupokea. That's why we don't receive what we need to receive, because we don't know how to pray. So these are things that we learn, and that's why I was saying that, sometimes a journey that would take somebody 2 days, another person would take 10 days, because they're being prepared in the same journey. So as you're continuing, you're being prepared at the same time. So what we are saying is that prayer is something that you also learn as you continue getting deeper and deeper into the prayers. So if I would just say that prayer, what you need to do is do this, 1, 2, I'll be messing you up. Because the moment you start going with those things that I'm giving, you won't make it. So what I'm saying in essence to every other person, somebody will be listening to me and is like, I'm not following this lady, what is she saying? What I'm saying is that when you want to get this walk into, knowing Christ more and more, what you need to do is to give your best and your all to what you want to achieve. But if you want to look around and see how other people are doing things, I tell you, you are not going to achieve what you need to achieve. So what you need to do is that make sure that your all is in here. And so a step and another, and you're ready to take anything that comes your way in terms of what God will take you through. So in terms of even prayers, you say it is the basis of a good family. If they want to have a family that is happy, a family that is full of love, a family that, stays together, then they need to pray. Then how are they going to pray? They are going to pray knowing what they are praying about, and why are they praying, and what is it that they want in terms of that prayer. So what I'm saying is that as you go a level and another, there are so many things that you're going to learn in the process. And as you're giving yourself out that this is what I want to do, we usually say that you are sold totally to Christ, you know. So once that is what you want, then you know you'll be getting deeper and deeper. And as you go deeper, you get the sweetness of it, and the sweetness of it will help you to continue getting deeper and even much more deeper. So there's no way I'm going to give you tips into this, but I'm just going to tell you that can you give your all when in terms of even praying, you say that I want to pray for my family so that this family of mine can stay together. Then I want you, God, to help me so that I can get deeper and deeper. Because as we know, prayer is communication to God, not just closing your eyes. And, you know, sometimes we wonder because we're saying, if it's communication, why are we closing our eyes? Because when you want to communicate, if I'm talking to you, I don't close my eyes.
Yeah, you have to maintain that eye contact.
Yeah, so what we're saying is that it is also kind of a norm. People, you know, because people wanted to bring this in, like you close up to the world so that your focus is only to God, you know. So that is what brought about the closing of our eyes. But you know, if you are in a room like this with God, you know, you are like, I'm communicating to you, God. Then there are questions you will ask God. There are things you will do in the presence of God, and God will also be communicating to you, you know that. So this is what we are saying, that in prayer, what we are going to do in terms of prayer is that we really have to give our best and then get deeper and deeper as we continue communicating to our God. You'll see things falling in place. And as I was saying, you'll be ready to sacrifice whenever there's a need to sacrifice. Wakati mmekosa kuelewana, utajua kwamba because tumekosa kuelewana, let me just sacrifice, nirudi chini so that this other person can just go na akiona nimerudi chini hata yeye atatulia tu. You see that? And that in essence utapata kuna mahali mnakuja kuelewana.
And you know, we've talked about prayer, na kuomba, putting Jesus, and maybe there is some families, labda mama ni napenda hiyo maneno ya Jesus, ya Mungu, but the other side, which is the husband, support you and him. So how can a woman like that deal with that?
I think we also talked about this the other time as we were talking about the role of a woman as a wife in the home. The thing is, once you know what you want, and again, once you know the cost of doing what you're doing, it will always, or it will easily enable you to do the right thing. So what I'm saying is that maybe the husband is not ready for this Jesus thing that we're talking about. The wife is really sold out for it. So what you're going to do as a wife, because you know, when I continue doing this, I'll be putting my family together. And even as I continue doing this, my husband, as he's pulling far away, he'll start pulling back. So the thing is, do that, because in terms of even prayers, as we are saying, and I was saying prayer is communication between you and God. As we'll be communicating to God, there are things that God will be telling you about your husband in terms of, you really need to take him as he is. You know, you really need to respect him as he's supposed to be respected. And when he sees all these things happening, he will know that, you know what, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing to somebody who really loves me, somebody who is really giving her all to me, somebody who is really sacrificing to see what we have, you know, moving to another level. And when this happens, you will find he is a human being, he's a creature of God. And I know the same God who is talking to you, whom you are talking to, is also going to talk to him. Because I know God, we can't say that God doesn't communicate to other people because maybe they are drunkards or whoever they are, but God communicates to us all. But so as you communicate to God, telling God maybe about your husband who is maybe not responding in the right way, I know God can go to that person and communicate to him that he really needs to also come in a certain understanding ground so that we can understand each other. So I believe that God can do things that other people cannot do or men cannot do. So don't give up. Continue doing it. I know it's a lot of frustrations, and that's why I was saying in a family we really need to sacrifice. That is when we'll have a family that has love. And that love, basically, I've said and I'll continue saying, love is a sacrifice. Usifikirie love is a bed of roses, as you say. Yeah, so many people understand it like that, but love is a sacrifice. Totally, I would tell you that. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Irene. I'm seeing that our first time is up. We're going for a short break, and when we come, we'll talk about the role of children. Now we'll bring children into this conversation. We're talking about the mother and the father. And as Irene has highlighted, that prayer, Jesus, and also sacrifice is the key to I can say successful marriage. My name is Rida Chebet Kering. Don't go away.
Local news should live to your expectations. It should be reliable and most definitely accurate, keeping it local and giving you the facts, especially the breaking. That's why at Maisha Television Kenya, we value, we inform you, educate you and advocate for your views. Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information. That's why there is nothing more important to us than getting it right. Maisha Television News, we are here for you. If you're a business person, a trader, or anyone who wants to sell something for money, you have to advertise your products and services. Maisha TV is your best and affordable platform to market your business. We have over 50,000 Facebook likes, 1 million viewers watching us. We have daily news, highly visited website, and so if you advertise with us, we simply put your products or services to over 2 million people across all our platforms. Seriously, if you want to make money, you must market your business. Let's do the marketing and you get your money. Call us now, 0746 999 841. That is 0746 999 841. Or write to info@maishatv.co.ke. Just choose it, watch it, and love it. Nabongo Teachers Training College takes pride in being an academic giant in Western Kenya with some of the best infrastructure, imparting knowledge to the best brains in the country and the region.
My name is Dorothy Saya, and I'm the director of Nabongo Teachers Training College and schools. We have the primary school, the secondary school, and this college.
Our members of faculty are keen to deliver market-driven academic programs in diploma, certificate and short courses. The college management is now inviting applications from interested and suitable students for diploma in primary teacher education, DPTE, for 3 years. Upgrade from P1 to diploma primary teacher education for 9 months. DTE, Diploma Teacher Education Secondary Option. Similarly, we are now admitting secondary school students from Form 1 to Form 3 entries. Our secondary school boasts of an equipped science lab, elaborate computer lab, and transportation buses. Our fees is quite affordable. We admit all government and private sponsored students under Kenya Universities and Colleges Placement Service. Welcome to Nabongo Teachers Training College. Admissions are now going on. Nabongo Teachers Training College is situated in Bungoma County. For secondary school admission, call now 0704 366 140, 0704 366 140. For Nabongo Training Teachers College admission, call us now 0711 574 423, 0711 574 423. Nabongo Teachers Training College, Bungoma.
Welcome back. This is Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. I'm your host, Rida Chebet Kering, and I'm joined by Irene Mumbo Bushebi, who is a counselor and also a women leader. And you can follow this conversation. We're live on our social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. You can also send in your comment at 0746 999 841. That is 0746 999 841. And as I told you before we went for a break, in this second part we're going to talk about children. And because today our main topic is family, family include the father, mother, and children. Now, we've talked about parents so far. What about the children's role in the family?
Yeah, the children are part of the family. As I said, it's a unit that everybody lives together. And so the children here, they also have a bigger responsibility in terms of they also have to sacrifice. I know many a times children feel like complaining because, you know, the father or the mother is always like the boss of the home. And so to them, according to them also, it's like, that's not right. They always feel like, you know, you need to give us room. So that is why we are saying that the role of the children is also to respect their parents, to do what their parents tell them to do, because they've been here longer than you've been. That is the children. And so they need to know that whatever they are being told, the parents have assessed it and they know if it is good or it is not good. Yeah, so they really need to respect their parents. And this is not just from the parents. This is even a command that comes from God. That if you respect your parents, your ears are going to be added. We've seen so many young people nowadays dying at a very tender age, and we have this thing that now we are calling the spirit of early death or something like that. And this is premature death. Thank you. So, you know, this is because many of our young people or the children in the home, they've refused to listen to their parents. They come out, your parents have been taking care of you when you're a baby, but you come to a point where you're feeling you really need to do your own things and they need not to come in. Yes, I know that there are things that they might not need to come in, but as they are parents, then your responsibility as a child of that family is to respect them. Please respect them. I know that they might come up even with these things you call analog, whatever decisions or things like that. But however analog they are, those are the things that have made you to be who you are. So make sure you respect them, you honor them, do what they tell you to do. Then your days will be added. I think there's
even the Bible says that.
Nobody, or even those children, I don't think there's anybody who would want to die early. Everybody wants to at least have some years, you know. So if you want to live that long, then respect them.
Yeah, and I know that it's not easy to raise children well, and let's underline that word well, because you can just raise your children, akue tu, then akue mtu mwingine. So I understand that you are a mother. What is the key to it?
Yeah, the key to raising our children well, as I've said, I think I've kind of mentioned it, is training these children to come up in the ways of God. You know, as I've said, the tips to every other thing is knowing God. And so even if the children, you'd be raising them with other things that come from this world, but know that the basis of everything is that, can we follow up on what God has told us to do? So you want to raise up your family well, because even me, I can't say that I've raised my family well just because I'm who I am. Maybe a counselor, as you're introducing me, but all that stuff, maybe I put it behind me and look into the fact that what is it that God is saying that I have to do to these children so that they can become people who are very important in the society. Because I don't think we're just raising children to be our children. We are raising our children to be other people's children as well. And so as we are doing this, then the only way that we are going to make them the best for even the society apart from is that we are going to follow the commands that we are given that is healthy even to the society. Because I believe that if your children are well or they are raised up well, it's because there are 1, 2, 3 things that you did. And still we are coming back to the same thing, sacrifice. Because I know it's also not a very easy thing. How do you tell your children to pray in this world today? When they want to listen to other music with I don't know who, they have those names. You know, it's funny. Because now even we have this digital world where they have, you know, their phones, they have information from all over. You are telling them to kneel down and pray. They are wondering, seriously speaking.
Mamizo vitu zako ni body.
Tutafanya mpaka saa ngapi sisi tumepiga hapa magoti hata tumechoka. You know, so the only thing you're going to do is that I think you start from the word go. The moment, and I did mention this here when we were discussing still these issues, that you know, the moment you have a conception of a child within you, it should be right on that I want to bring a person who is going to be better for the society. So that is from the inside of you. And I believe if it is the content of you, then that child being also part of you, that child is going to come up just as you wanted. Because I know we've always been told that ukiwa umebeba mimba and you are always stressed or something like that, you give birth to a child who is stressed. Nani mpaka watu wanashangaa, you know. Yeah, so if that can be the case, then also, why can't I have a conception within me that I have this child within me? I want this child to come out as the best and following the right commands or the right direction that will make this child to grow up as somebody who is very productive in the society. Yeah, so that's what we are talking about in terms of raising them well. So you start from the inside. Usije ulikuwa unaenda partying throughout ukiwa na mimba because unasema after all and then mtoto ukishamzaa sasa mnaanza kuomba. My friend, huyo mtoto hataomba because yeye anataka kupati.
Ulimpeleka party akiwa kwa tumbo.
This person knows how to party because that is what you used to do. So it is party after party. So when the child comes out, he's still a party after party. There is nothing else that you're going to do that is going to make this child different. You know, hata umpeleke Sunday school wakati mwingine. Utampeleka Sunday school anafika mahali unaona ameanza tu kupati. Because
haiko kwa damu yake kabisa.
This is what runs within this child. I'm saying this because I've had my children, and most of the time I'm like, you know, because of service to God, most of the time I'm in praise and worship, and for sure, always I've raised children that I don't teach them most of these things, but I find these things running within them. And that is what I thought, okay, maybe if they'll grow up to be other people, me, I don't know. But what I'm believing God is that I've raised them. I've always wanted. This is what has conceived me. That every time I even have a baby within me, I always ask God that, God, I'm carrying a child that I would want when this child comes out, she or he is going to be productive to any other person around us. Because I even don't know, maybe I'm going to deliver and die after that. Then, but this child might survive. Come out to survive. Let this child be somebody who is very productive in the society, in line of service. That is what I'm saying. I know people have different suggestions or decisions of what they want to do, but I'm saying in terms of now raising these children well according to my description. That is, I know you can describe it in any other way. So if party after party is what you want, then I don't deny you that you can go ahead and do it because that is what you want. But we are advising also that we also need people who are going to be productive, not people who are just partying throughout. Because we've seen these people who are partying, they reach a point where they can't support themselves in partying, and so now they become, people who are a bother to everybody. Because they want even to steal from you because they want to go partying, and they don't have enough to help them party. So what are they going to do? Akipata chochote chako atachukua because he wants to go and party. You see, sasa hiyo, we'll start cursing the mother. Huyu naye alizaa watoto gani? So we are talking about raising children well. Then please, can you start? Najua mtu anasema mi watoto wangu nili. That is, we used to party but I can say maybe it's not time out. We can still do something. You can still give birth to other children, or you can still teach these children, especially when they now come to a point where they understand. You can relate to them what the world is having and what the other side of it is having. And so if you can put that together for them and come out with a picture that they can see well, I think they can start changing their mentality from some level.
Yeah, and there is this notion or rather statement, nimesikia watu wengi sana wakisema, they say that watoto wa mapasta ama watu wanapenda Mungu sana sana ndio wanaharibika sana. Do you support that statement?
I don't really support it because I don't want to go that way. Because the Bible also asks us, whose report are you going to believe? I believe the report of God who tells us that, you know what, if you raise the children in the ways of God, they're going to be good children. Because what I've also seen about these children ambao wanasema ni wabaya, it reaches a point when they come back to themselves, some of them. Kuna wengine wanajirejelea until they find themselves and say, okay, I've been doing this, it's not right, can I go back? Because msingi aliowekewa ni msingi wa Bwana. So on that, what I would want to say is this again. You know, as pastors, most of the time, and from time immemorial, I know that God has always been talking to the priesthood, that is the family of God in terms of, they are called the Levites, if you read the Bible. So these are people who are set aside to serve God or to serve in the presence of God. So these were people who are supposed to not even have a touch of anything. They were to depend on God, and they were depending on other people to supply other needs for them. That is what the Bible tells us. And so in this arena, you find that these parents, because they were to have their families as well, but these parents, they were set in a way that even their children would emulate what they are doing, and so they would do the right thing. But you know, now the problem is, I'm a pastor, but I'm only a pastor in the church. When I'm home, I'm a different person. My children learn much more from me in the home, not in the church. If I'm going to stand on the pulpit and start talking about Yesu alisema, and at home This child has never listened to me talking about Yesu alisema kwao nyumbani. Huyu mtoto anajua ninadanganya. And sometimes you'll find it, kuna wazazi wanajaribu sana wanahubiri huko mbele, unasikia mtoto anasema dadi anajifanya. Mpaka watu wanashangaa, ai hebu nyamaza. You know, because
mtoto anajua ukweli.
Yeah, because mtoto anajua tukirudi nyumbani tunakwanga wale watu wa home. Hata kuna ule mshosho anakujanga kutuletea, you know, hizo those charms and all that stuff. So anashangaa baba hapo anasema kwani anasema. So please, if you want to be a pastor, be a pastor. But if you feel you cannot, then please, can you just let it be? Because sisi wenyewe kama wazazi ndio tumekosea. And then again, the reason why I'm saying this is, kama nitakuwa tu pastor wa kanisani, na nyumbani I'm not doing anything, then you know what? I'm not going to teach these children that we are coming from a family of priests. Na wakati nitakosa kuambia hivi, and I'm benefiting from, you know, the word of God, from the service to God. Now what I'm benefiting from in terms of pengine chakula ambayo tunapewa kanisani, pesa zile tunapewa kanisani, tunarudi nazo nyumbani tunazitumia. Ninamlipia school fees na pesa za Mungu, anavaa nguo kwa pesa za Mungu, chochote kile anakula nyumbani ni pesa za Mungu. And then hii pesa ya Mungu akishavaa vizuri, akishakula kashiba, anaenda kwa bar kukunywa. Anakuja akifanya vitu zake. Kweli unataka kuniambia kwamba this child is going to be a good child? No way. So the moment you are using things that come from the pulpit, make sure that you tell your children that if you are going to go the different way, utaharibika. Don't deny them. So that however much watu watasema watoto wa pastor wameharibika, hata wangu watasema wameharibika, ndio, lakini nilishakwambia ukweli. So you carry the burden yourself. Because I've told you, we are eating from the pulpit. And the moment we are eating from the pulpit, we have to remain holy. Unakumbuka, there used to be food or bread. It used to be called the showbread in the house of God, in the high place. So this showbread could only be consumed, if any consumption would there be, could only be consumed by the priest. Unakumbuka wakati Daudi alitoroka mbio, alikuwa anafukuzwa, akaingia akamwambia priest, utanipea hizo mkate niende nazo. Priest alimpea kwa sababu alijua ni mtu mtakatifu. So this is to say, if you want to partake of anything that comes from the pulpit, you have to remain mtakatifu. I tell my children every day, I tell them, you know what? We are eating from the pulpit, my friends. So if I'm going to buy you a dress, and this dress is going to help you be a prostitute out there, my friend, utaharibika. So I can only buy you a dress for the glory of God. But if you are going to use this to do anything negative, it is to you. And God knows, from deep inside me, I've told you. I'm not going to let you go, I'm telling you. So if you want to go and do any other thing with it, just do anything you want to do it, but you will suffer. And all your generation. But me and you, kwetu hapa tumetengeneza, nimeshakwambia, and God knows. Because the Bible tells us clearly that we will give to account everything. You know, we'll bring to account everything. That is to say, kama ulikuwa mzazi juu ya watoto, uliwaambia. Kama ukuambia, makosa ni yako pamoja na watoto mtaenda. Maana watoto pia walifika umri ambao wanaanza kuelewa vitu. Kwani wao wanaenda kanisani kusikiliza nini? So they also have to listen. So if they are never listening to this, and plus me, who is not telling them, then we are candidates of hell. But if I told them, then God will redeem me and say, okay, sasa mtoto, jitetee hapa.
Uliambiwa na uko.
Yeah. If you are partaking of the pulpit, I'm repeating this to my fellow pastors and any other person listening to me out there. Na pia watu wenye wanapenda kukula kutoka kwa wachungaji. Maana wachungaji huwa si wanapeana kitu kwa watu. Kama unapendanga kukula za wachungaji, and you go and use them negatively, usituulize. And that is why the world today is not right. Because you know, everybody is like partaking from the pulpit. Everybody is getting something from the pulpit. Pastor nakupea, ama washirika wanakupea, na hizi ni vitu za Mungu. Because the reason why ulijua huyu mtu ni Mungu, kwa nini utumie vibaya?
Yeah, and there is these two things while raising children. There is freedom and there is also authority. How can parents combine these two while raising children?
I know authority is the ability to give orders, you know. You have the ability to give orders because maybe you're superior in a way. And then now freedom is now the ability to do things. But these two things, I would connect them in a way that the ability to give orders and the ability to act on something, if you want to do them well, you have to be doing the right thing. What am I saying? If you're this, but I've just talked about the pastors and their children. When you want to give orders to your children, even there at the church, nyumbani kumekuaje, is it that you are giving them the right, instructions or that ability to order them. Is it coming from the right source? Or there is another source? Because Jesus asked, okay, I'm talking about the Bible too much, but I think there are brethren out there maybe. But anyway,
we know that you understand that you're a Bible trainer.
Yes. So Jesus talks about we can't have one stream giving out good water and bad water at the same time, or clean water and dirty water. So what I'm saying in reality is that if maybe even you're a pastor, you want to give commands to people, is it the same you who when you are home you are giving commands and you're not giving commands from the same good source? So that is what I'm saying in terms of authority. And then freedom is hata kama ni wewe mtoto, you want that freedom, that is the ability to do things without being followed. So the only thing that you can do that somebody will not follow you up is the right thing. So what I'm saying is that if you want to do things without being followed, that is you're having your freedom, do the right thing. Nobody will follow you. Yes. And also, in terms of authority, if you want to give orders, because you are supreme in a way, also give orders from the right source, that is good things. Because if you do that, even those people who feel that, they don't want to be followed, they'll look at the instructions that you're giving, and they'll see that maybe the instructions that you're giving, to them, it's profitable. And so they can follow up on that. Okay, let me come back to what we were saying. So it is about authority and freedom in terms of children in their family. So as a parent, if you have to be giving or you have to be exercising your authority, then exercise that authority from the good source. That is in terms of be exercising authority when also yourself, you are the right candidate to give the authority. Lakini kama utakuwa yule mtu ambaye you are not right, let's say wewe ni mlevi, how are you going to exercise your authority over these children? Though I know, as I've said, the children are only charged with the responsibility of respecting their parents. Anaweza kuwa mlevi, but ile essence ya kumheshimu kama mzazi itabaki. So that is why I'm saying freedom should be from also a good source in terms of you should be doing the right thing. Mzazi wako anaweza kuwa ni mlevi na anakupea instruction. Usije ukamkosa tu kumheshimu kwa sababu yeye ni mlevi. Wewe nitakana freedom yako ni kusema I'll do what my father wants me to do, or I'll follow the instructions that my father wants me to do because I'm coming from a source of doing things rightfully. Are you saying that? So we can marry those things by saying that each one, and we are now coming back to the same thing, that it is a sacrifice, it is about love, and then it is about each other knowing that I'm responsible for the other. So please, even if you have authority, please make sure that that authority, you are giving it to your child from the good source, and that your child is also responding to that authority from a good source in terms of the freedom they're having, they are doing the right thing.
Well, the way you've explained, I'm seeing that these two things are really
they are
related.
one and another, it's something that really connects.
Yeah, and now as we wind up, in most cases we see that most parents want to define the future of their children, maybe by deciding their careers. We see that others even sometimes wanakataa, unapata mtu anasema nataka kuwa sister of kanisa, but mzazi anasema aya hapana, especially sana Catholic, mtoto anasema nataka kuwa father, mzazi anasema aya hapana, alafu generation yangu itakuwaje? So I'll just like to ask you, do you define the future of your children and also your advice to the parents out there?
I think we did mention it here some other time that children are an inheritance from God. And so if you've inherited something from somebody, let's say a piece of land, if it is not fertile, my friend, itakusumbua. You really have to work on it. But if it is fertile, inamaanisha utakuwa ukipanda vitu hapa zinakuwa. So what I'm saying is, if your relationship with God is okay, then I think you are going to be having a fertile ground, and as you produce, you'll be producing the best. So hautakuwa worried in terms of trying to control what they are going to be out there. You let them be, because you know you've given them what they need to have. And so if they are going out there, let them go, because whatever they decide to do, you've also prayed. And I think we also mentioned here, I did say that, as parents, sometimes we fail to do something. Tunakoseanga kuomba juu ya mtoto mwenye kijana yangu ataoa, ama msichana mwenye kijana yangu au msichana wangu ataenda kuolewa kwake. So when we refuse to do this early, when they start getting married to those marastas, we are like, you are not going to. No, did you really pray? So if you didn't pray, let them just go where they're going, because you could have determined their destination by praying for them earlier, so that wherever they land, utajua God really wanted them to land there. So what I'm going to still do is to tell God, God, I had asked you, is it the real place you wanted that child to go in terms of marriage? So if that is the place, then let that child go. So you will have peace within you. But otherwise you'll be struggling because you know, nani amekuambia. But if I had prayed about this, I know where you are going, God wants you to go there. And He has grace enough to sustain you where you are. So I think that would be my advice to the parents. Please, make sure you pray for this. Still, Jamani, those people who are still having to go for pregnancies. When you have that thing, make sure you start praying for your child. Yes, whatever you want, start dictating. I think when you talk, you see Hannah, you see these people who are conceiving in terms of in the presence of the Lord. That is, they would always talk about what they want, or they would be told whom their children are going to be. So it means we have the power to dictate whom our children are going to be right from the womb. So please, parents, do that, and then when they grow up and they want to be so and so, you know that that is what God wants them to be.
Wow, thank you so much. I think that parents have gotten that message. When you want your children to be something in life, usingoje hadi akuwe mkubwa anakuambia that I want to do journalism, mbea pana sitaki hizo vitu. I want to be a lady, then no maneno ya kanisa hapana. I want to do this. Unaanza kukataa, na ilikuwa responsibility yako kudeal nayo mapema akiwa mtoto mdogo. So make sure that you do that when your children, and as Irene has just highlighted, that you should start praying for your children, or maybe start declaring things over your child akiwa pale ndani ya tumbo, because you have that power and authority. Thank you so much, Irene. Asante sana kwa kueleza wasikilizaji hayo ambayo most of the people are asking, walikuwa nataka kuongelea about how to make our family successful, because families siku hizi ziko na issue sana. Kuna hizo wrangles, conflicts. I think that you've gotten something from it. This is Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. You can go to our social media platforms, Facebook, Maisha Television Kenya, and also YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. You can leave your comment there. You can also send your comment about the show, 0746 999 841. My name is Rida Chebet Kering. See you next Wednesday.
Local news should live to your expectations. It should be reliable and most definitely accurate, keeping it local and giving you the facts, especially the breaking. That's why at Maisha Television Kenya, we value, we inform you, educate you and advocate for your views. Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information. That's why there is nothing more important to us than getting it right. Maisha Television News, we are here for you.
Hi guys, naitwa Stacy. Nipe mapana, eti mwili kujitutumusha, nitakutawanya kabahari. Hii ni station imegrow very fast na naipenda sana. Mi watch Mzuka East Africa.
Karibu Kanairo, karibu Kenya, kujani kushova koza wa Kenya, tuna talanta ya kucheki weather. Iyo jua ni
From Monday to Friday 4 PM, show kali sana.
Stella, na kusima Stella, Stella, Rubina no Stella, na kusima